Okay guys, so you were asked to try to draw this question here in orthographic projection for homework. So to start off, we want to find out which side of the page A is going to be on, which side B is going to be on, and which side C is going to be on. So if we look here, the arrow A is pointing over in the left hand side direction. So that means that arrow A is going to be over to the left hand side of the page. Arrow B is pointing directly down and it's going to be directly below A. So B is going to be directly below A. And C then is pointing over in the right hand direction. It's going over in this way. So that means that A is going to project across to the right to give us C. So this is how our page is going to be set up. A is going to be to the left. B is going to be directly below it, and then C is going to be over to the right of it. So to start off, I'm going to pretend that I'm standing here at A and looking directly in at this shape. Now I had a small bit of confusion in the class today, lads asking, you know, if I can't see this surface here, wouldn't I be able to see the top of the surface here, and would I'd be able to see these ones and I might see the bottom of it or the top of the surface. There was a lot of confusion around that, so I built the shape here on SolidWorks. So if we get this opened up full, and this is the shape that we're drawing. Okay, so A is pointing in this direction, so I was wondering what it's going to look like if I'm looking in at this direction. So if I now rotate this around and look straight in at this face, this is what I'm going to see. This is the shape I'm going to see. If I'm looking straight down on the shape, then I'm going to rotate it around like this. The width of the shape doesn't change, and I'm looking straight down on that shape. So it's going to see something like this. And then finally, C is asking me, what is it going to look like when I'm looking straight in at this face, and I'm going to see something like this then when I'm looking straight in at that face. So that's what it means when I say, if I'm standing here at A and I'm looking straight in at it, what am I going to see? I'm going to see this. I'm going to see this shape here. So we're getting to this point here in class today, but there was just a small bit of confusion around what surfaces we'd see and what surface we wouldn't. So hopefully that has kind of made it a small bit easier for you to understand. So from A, I'd see something like this. From B, I'd see the top of it, and from C, I'd see the end view here. So this is what it looked like from C. Okay, so let's give our question a try. So starting from A, what am I going to see from A? So the first surface I'm going to see is this rectangular surface here. So I'm going to identify that with blue. And that looks to me like a rectangle that's 100 mil wide and 25 high. So I'm going to start by drawing a construction line across the page, and I'm just going to call that line the X Y line. So X on the left, Y on the right, and I'm just going to measure in 50 mil. And that's going to give me my starting point. So that's going to represent this point here. Okay, so from that point I have to go across 100 mil. Okay, and drawing a firm line then, 100 mil long. Okay, so that would represent me drawing this line here. From there I have to go 25 mil up, 100 mil back, and 25 mil down. So I'm going to measuring up 25 mil, drawing a construction line, drawing two vertical lines, and making all them lines then firm. Okay, so I've drawn this front surface now that I've identified with my blue marker. The next surface then I'd see, and if I go back to the SolidWorks, it'll show you that if I'm looking in at that, the next surface I'd see is this one here, and this one here as well. Okay, so the next surface now I'm going to draw is this one here, and that to me looks like 25 up, 25 across, 25 down, and 25 back in again. So it's a 25 millimeter square. So I'm going to measure up 25, measure across 25, and drawing that square. And then the final one I'd see is 50. Sorry, just wait for that to focus. Is this 50 mil by 25? Okay, so I'm measuring across now another 50 mil. Continuing my construction line. Okay, so that is my view now from A. So I'm just going to measure up 10 mil and 5 mil, and I'm going to label this view. And in class today we were calling it just a view from A, but on this sheet now I want you just to call this the elevation. So okay, so A is equal to the elevation, or the elevation is equal to A. So that's just a different word we have for A is the elevation, so the view from A here. Now, the next view we want to see is what it's going to look like if I manage to get from here and get up over the shape and start to look down on the shape. Okay, I'm looking down, straight down on top of the shape now. So pop over to our SolidWorks here again. This is what our shape looks like. When we're looking at it from A, we're going to see it like this, and when we're looking at it from the top, we're going to see it like this when we're looking straight in on it. So as we were doing in class today, we're going to project all our lines down. So these should just be construction lines. Keep them as light as you can. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave just a 10 mil gap, or maybe a 15 mil gap, in between the elevation and B, the view from the top. So I'm just going to leave 15 mil here. And this is where I'm going to start drawing. So if I imagine now I was at A, and I'm after going over the top now and I'm looking down at it, the first line I'd see, so I'm after looking from here, I'm coming back and I'm looking back, I'm getting a view like this. I'm going to start by drawing this back wall here, so all along this back wall here. So measure down 15 and I'm going to start drawing that back wall. So that's one firm line. So that's me after drawing. I'm going to draw this in green now. I'm after drawing this line here and this line here. Next thing for me to do now is come forward here. So back towards me on the sheet, 75mm and 75mm. So it's going to be this and this. Come back 75mm. Okay, and I'm going to join then the front, which is going to be this line here. Okay, so that's the outline of the bottom piece here, so the base, and then we're also going to see this kind of backwards L shape here as well. So that backwards L shape is 25 and 50. So I could measure now, I could measure 25 and 50, but I already actually have that point, and I need to come down then 25, which would be this measurement here, 25. So let's do that one. .25, and I want to come in now 50 because this measurement here is given as 50. But that's already given here, so we already have that. So I can just come in here. Okay, I need to come back here now 25, which is this measurement here, and then finish it off by joining it up to the edge again. So down 25. And join back in. Okay, and I'm going to come down 10 and 5 underneath that again. So come down 10 and then 5 and draw two construction lines. And I'm going to label this again, but this time I'm going to label it the plan, so P-L-A-N. is equal to B, so this view from B. Okay, so we have what the object looks like from A, we have what it looks like from B, and the final thing then we need to do is find out what it looks like from C. So C is going to be over here somewhere. Now, I've left a gap between A and B of 15 mil, just leaving a gap between it, and whatever gap you leave in between here, I also want the same gap here. So the first line I'm going to draw is going to be 15 mil over from A to the right. Okay, so I'm not going to start anywhere closer to the shape, it needs to be 15 mil. Now if I had left a 20 mil gap here, I'd increase that to 20 as well. So no matter what one you have, if it's 15 mil, 10 mil, 5 mil, keep it the same between the elevation and the plan and the elevation and C, which is going to be over here. So we've been at A, we looked at it from the front, we've seen what it looked like, we went up top and we looked at it from B, and the last thing now we want to do is come over around here to C and have a look and see what it looks like from this direction. So if we go back to our SolidWorks again, we've looked at it from the top, we've looked at it from the front, the last thing to do now is look at it from C. We're going to see a shape like this. Okay? This is what we're going to see. So as we go around to the side, the height of the shape doesn't change. So I can just project across my heights here. Okay, and I can start drawing from my 45. So if I was stand at C, to the left of the shape I'd see this line here and this line here, and altogether they'd be 50 mil high. So from this line here at 15 in, I'll be drawing a line up 50 mil. But I've already transferred across the top height here, so I can just measure up to the top height. Okay. Next thing then, if I was looking from C, the width of the shape would be 75, so I can just measure 75 here. Okay, be careful now. So I've measured across my 75, and I'm just going to finish off that rectangle. So I'm going to come up now 25, and I'm going to come across now 75 again, just to finish off that shape. And then from the top here, what I see is a 25 mil square and a 25 mil square next to it as well. So I measure across 25 and 25, 25 and 25. I'm going to draw vertical lines up and across, and that then is what I see when I look in from C. Last thing then is just to measure up 10 and 5, or I could have just taken it from these two lines here either, so I could have just went to this line and transferred it across as well. Up to yourselves. And I'm going to call this now in red end view. Is equal to C. Okay, so that's what the end view is going to look. We have here what it's going to look like when I'm looking in from A, what the shape's going to look like when I'm looking straight down on top of it from B, and finally what it's going to look like when I'm looking in at it from C. Okay, so have a go at that at home, and next I'm going to move on to the second question here, which is just pretty simple. It's this H here. So I'm going to start this just over here beside it, and I'm going to go through this one slightly quicker. So the overall width of this shape is 25 plus 25 plus 25. Okay, so coming over 20 mil from that shape, I'm going to start drawing this shape. So 25 plus 25 plus 25 is going to give me 75 mil altogether, and I'm just drawing a construction line for now. Okay, I'm actually going to measure out to 25, 25, 25. Okay, the height then of the H here is 50, so from that I'm going to come up 50. I'm going to draw a firm line. Okay, the height of the inside here that's being taken out is 25, so I can measure up here 25. And 25. And I'm just going to join them two lines there. Okay, overall height now, which is the highest point of this shape, is 50 plus 25, which is 75. I'm going to measure up 75. And it's going to come across then to just above this point. So I got this point, I projected it up with a construction line, and I'm going to send a line across to that to get this point, and this point then is going to be sent across with a construction line to find me those 2 points. Okay, and again I'm just going to go up 10 and 5 and label that view in blue, elevation, is equal to A. So that's my elevation view. Now directly below that, 15 millimeters below that, I'm going to draw my plan. So my plan, looking at it from the top of the shape. So I was at A and I looked in at the side and I seen this backwards looking H. Now I'm moving up over it and I'm going looking straight down it. So what am I going to see? I'm going to see this surface here, and I'm going to see this surface here. So dropping all my lines vertically down, construction lines. So let's drop it down, dropping this line down, dropping this line down, and dropping this line down. Okay, and 15 mil under it, I'm going to draw a firm line. And if I'm looking from B, the overall height of that is going to be 25. And what I see there is a square shape and a rectangular shape. So to get the square shape, I'm getting this point, I'm dropping it straight down, I'm getting this line here, and I'm going to make that a firm line. And as I was talking about earlier again, this line is going to be a broken line because it's hidden detail. So from the top, when I'm up here, I can't see this line that goes through the shape, but I know it's there, so I'm going to identify that with a broken line like this across the top of it. So just a broken line. Okay, like so. Getting my heights and transferring them across. And I'm imagining now what my shape's going to look like if I was looking at it from C this time. So again, I left 15 mil in between both of these views, and I'm going to leave 15 mil between both of these views. From that 15 mil, I'm going to draw a vertical line up the overall height of the shape, which is 50 plus 25, so 75 altogether. And the overall width of the shape then, which is 25. So coming across here, 25 mil. I'm drawing another vertical line straight up. And a horizontal line. Okay, and again, imagining what I see when I'm looking in at C. So I'm going to see a square shape here at the top, and I'm going to see a rectangle here. And finally, what am I going to see here? I know that this gap has been taken out here. I can't see it from the side, but because I know it's there, I have to show that with hidden detail. Okay, and the final thing I do there is just label my views. So my elevation, which is my elevation here, my plan, which is the look from the top, and my end view, so what it looks like from C. I'll be labeling them three. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. I hope that helps you when it comes to next class, and I will see you again on Wednesday or Thursday, I think. Thanks very much.